Good morning, Freedom Team. Hope everybody's coming off an awesome weekend. As always, boy, we get to kick off Mondays, and man, we have a powerhouse. We might have one of the fastest, if not the fastest, builders for RevShare in the company. I've been here about 5 years and has just shy of 3,000 agents. But let me give you a little of his background, you guys, to kick this off. Eric, for the past 30 years, if you got yourself now I hear that, Eric. That's the over. I hear that one. For the past 30 years, Eric has worked in the business development arena where he was able to accomplish a very high degree of success. He worked in sales, sales management, sales training, and sales consulting capacity. Having been associated with well-respected products and services has provided me with the tools necessary to succeed. He has worked in four different industries, being directly responsible for capturing a significant portion of the market share audience. His most recent accomplishments have taken place in the field of residential real estate and investment banking. His clients have been extremely diversified and have stemmed from portfolio managers. He has conducted real estate training seminars to real estate agents throughout the country. Regardless of the industry, the one consistent element has been his ability to set high goals and obtain them. His strongest attributes to surpassing expectations have been tenacity, forming strong client relationships, and understanding the needs of buyers. These are also elements he has searched for when responsible for building and managing a sales team. It is having the responsibility of leading and training sales organization that he most enjoys. And guys, I've had a chance to get to know him here over the last year or so. I was involved with the traction flow and have been on watching him make live calls. And I say to all of you that are here today, everybody has sometimes call reluctancy picking up this 800-pound gorilla. But if there's something I find so interesting about Attractifies, it's not just Eric Orland. He's got Randy and he's got another gentleman. They make calls 5 days a week. He's going to demo this product. We're not here to try to push this on anybody. But if you're serious about attraction, it is a system. Eric's going to elaborate on it. I'm going to have him demo it. It's the best thing that I've ever seen for the one thing Bill and I talk about all the time is the follow-up has been my weakness. Trying to create my own campaigns and putting them in drip when I don't have it all really put together. They've done it all on Attractify. So if you really are trying to switch gears and go, I really want to start doing this, taking 30 minutes to an hour a day, here's a system Eric's going to walk you through. And Eric, we are so blessed, brother, that you've come on here. This guy is a total stud. I've not only this, let me put one more plug in. When you get on his calls, this might grab your attention. You get on his calls if you're part of Tractify, you can give him agent names. He will call them, help bring them on board, and he'll co-sponsor with you. In other words, he'll make calls to your agents. Now, there's several people on there doing a round robin, but you'll probably get 4, 5, 6 calls in, and he just picks up the phone that quick, gets a name, their production, bloom, and he calls. And to hear him go through can raise your confidence level tremendously. So, Eric, I'm going to turn it over to you, brother. Sincerely appreciate it, guys. He's in an airport. If you hear background noise, there is no place for him to get away from it. So, I feel for you. Try to do this with all that noise. So, appreciate you, brother. But man, yeah,
Hey,
take
buddy.
over and show us what this system will do for anybody that'd like to use it.
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you as well. You've been just a really loyal friend and a consistent supporter. So it's people like you that have pushed me to be the best version of myself. And that's what I love about the EXP family. So I do believe that having a successful revenue share organization, more than 50% of it is in fact mindset. It is absolutely mindset. So the question I think that we have to ask ourselves is why does only 14% of the people at EXP participate in revenue share where they can earn a passive and residual income and increase their income earning potential for themselves and their family? And I firmly believe the reason that more people are not reaching out is because people don't like feeling shamed, embarrassed, or simply rejected, right? So they're hesitant. So we created a system. Initially, the system was called Attraction Flow. We created this about 4 years ago. And the reason I created Attraction Flow, hi, Yvette, the reason I created Attraction Flow is I wanted a blueprint. I wanted a map, if you would, so that people below me in my organization would feel compelled to pick up the phone and go after their dreams of having a passive and residual income. So I wanted to give them a map in terms of how to do that. My focus was the following. I realized that sharing the EXP platform can be challenging. It's 40 minutes to talk about all of those features and benefits, right? Where you just EXP all over people. Folks, the intention here is get really good at inviting somebody to learn more about the platform by asking appropriate questions. It is not EXPing them to death. It is getting really good at simply inviting them to learn more about the first cloud-based real estate brokerage in the history of real estate that has significant market share, is public, and the only profitable cloud-based company, right? Really important. So if I'm being transparent with you, there's probably not 5 people at EXP that I would have explain the model for me. I think it's challenging to do. I think it's challenging to hold somebody's attention for 40 minutes. So I created attraction flow, and there were many things I liked about it. And to be transparent, there were many things I did not like about it. We built it on what's called Go High Level. Many of you are probably familiar with Go High Level. It's a good platform. It is very, very robust. If I'm being, again, transparent, I'm a gray-haired guy. I'm more toward the latter part of my career than I am the beginning of my career. I am not a techie. I believe that technology does not have to be robust. I think it has to be user-friendly, so we feel that the systems that we're using are allies, right? It's not difficult to do. So we created Attractify. We moved away from Attraction Flow. We went through a significant rebrand, a user interface, and we built a proprietary product that I've spent over $250,000 on, making this product available so agents have aids and are communicating. I'm so sorry, guys. Now alarms are going off. Where we are creating aids in terms of communication, whether it's verbal or written, our drip campaigns, our automations, our texts, our emails, or when we're simply reaching out to somebody. Our goal is to communicate at the highest level. You'll see as I take you through the systems, every time you communicate, whether again it's written and oral, it is you're communicating at the highest level. As I take you through the Attractify system, it is powered by artificial intelligence. So it's almost like having, Kelly, a VA sitting right at your side, not only assisting you in communicating effectively, Bill, but also telling you what actions to take and when to take those actions. So you are moving that relationship along from prospect right into your organization. Really quickly, there are 3 components to Attractify. One is we do 10 coaching calls a week. We do 5 prospecting calls where you hear us on the call, you listen to the verbiage and the tone of the calls being made, and you make calls as well, and we'll critique the calls, provide you what I think is important feedback. I have also created a platform. There's got to be one thing I do decently in life, right? I don't know how to fix a damn thing. God forbid I would have a flat tire, right? So I am pretty decent at picking up a phone. If you're a subscriber of Attractify, what I will do is if you come on the prospecting call with me, all you have to do is show up with a name, a phone number, and who that person is with. You never have to have spoken to them in your life. They could be from a different state. They could be from a different country. I will pick up the phone, identify them as being open-minded. I'll nurture and cement the relationship. I'll put them directly underneath you, and we will co-sponsor together. Doesn't cost you anything, okay? So we have 5 prospecting calls a week. We have very advanced tools and systems, our brokerage cost comparison calculator, the 5 features and benefits of EXP, the Attractify flow charts, yada, yada, yada. And thirdly, you have to have a system in place in order to be successful in building out a revenue share organization. I think you will find with Attractify, it is unlike anything that is on the market today. Without further ado, let me pull up the system for you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't hear anything unless it's really loud like that speaker. Otherwise, I don't hear anything in the background.
This is going to be, I'll be talking about this all day. All right. So we're going to pull up the Attractify system. All right. Can you guys see Attractify on the screen?
It's coming up. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you first log into the system, what you're going to see is an affirmation. And this is really important. Kelly, you're going to love that I do this. So I've written all of these affirmations because I believe, when I start my day, I absolutely want to come at my day with the right mindset. I want to be dialed in. I want to be dedicated. I want to be committed. I want to make sure that my head is in the game. So every day you're going to start off when you pick up the system, you're going to have an affirmation. It's also going to be emailed to you. Today's affirmation, today as you glance at the sky, you feel enamored and grateful to be a part of God's great universe. You are aligned with the abundance and infinity of the earth. You choose to fulfill all that you are by staying in gratitude with all that you have been granted. You are powerful, loving, kind, talented, and generous. By openly sharing the gifts you have been given with others, you are complete. So you're going to start off the day with an affirmation, right? Let's do this. Boom. And we're going to kick right into the system. This is in fact your dashboard. You're going to see in your dashboard, it shows you how many prospects you have in your system. It shows right here, I have 514 prospects. What is a prospect? A prospect has to meet 3 types of criteria. 1, they have to be open-minded to exploring another brokerage platform. Number 2, they have to be committed to watching the 2 video emails I'm going to send out to them. And number 3, they have to be agreeable to have a follow-up meeting. So collectively, we could ascertain if they're right for EXP and EXP is right for them. Okay. I am a big believer that the size and the strength of your database will dictate the size and strength of your organization. Can we all agree? If we had 1,000 people in our database that were open-minded, committed to watching the videos and having a follow-up appointment, we knew that we had 1,000 people in our database. Would we have a high level of comfortability putting our head in our pillow at night, going to sleep, knowing we have a vibrant business? The answer to that is absolutely yes. So my whole focus is building a database. So I break prospects down just into hot, warm, and cold. What is a hot prospect? Well, if you scroll over the question mark, it tells you a hot prospect is somebody who you are highly engaged with, and you deem that they'll probably join your organization within the next 4 months. A warm lead, super engaged, and they're going to probably join your organization within the next 4 to 12 months. A cold lead. A cold lead at one point in time was open-minded, agreeable to watch the videos and have a follow-up call, but perhaps they ghosted you or they no longer have an interest in EXP. But at one point in time, they were interested. Today, we have no clear indication when or if they'll be joining your organization at EXP. If they are hot, warm, or cold, they are going to immediately be sent out. They're going to be a recipient of your drip campaign. We put together a somewhat sophisticated drip campaign. It goes out the 1st and the 15th of every month. And they look as follows. Number 1, the first drip campaign that's sent out is typically something about EXP. It's a new milestone the company's hit. They brought on a big team, an earnings report, a new product, something significant which shows EXP's leadership in the sector. And then there's a call to action. The second drip campaign is not EXPing people to death. The second drip campaign is all about building a relationship and evoking a positive emotion, getting someone to smile. Perfect example. We use Pinata Farms a lot. My head on Leonardo DiCaprio's body and The Wolf of Wall Street, where Jonah Hill says, you show me a check for $78,000, I'll quit my job right now. And there I am handing Jonah Hill a check. And then, of course, there's a call to action. These have been received really, really warmly. So hot, warm, and cold, they'll immediately become your drip campaigns. 2 drip campaigns goes out the 1st and the 15th. New leads. What's a new lead? Somebody that you may have inputted into your system that came from Corded or came from the MLS. It's a download. New callbacks are people that, let me just make the screen a little smaller here. New callbacks are, I was calling Kelly. Kelly's a prospect. And Kelly said to me, Eric, I may be open-minded, but I'm in the middle of a showing. Do me a favor, give me a call back. Trash is obviously somebody who told you to go jump in the lake or something significantly stronger. Your organization shows you the total number of people in your organization. Here is your goal. And we initially set your goal for you. We set your goal at $100,000. So you have the ability to increase that goal or the ability to take that goal down. I'm of the belief that if you have 96 qualified prospects in your organization, you're on your way to making over $100,000. How did I build my business? So I get on what I call my work treadmill. Sean, you've heard me talk about this before, right? When I work out, I go to the gym, I get on a treadmill, right? I don't run for 30 minutes or walk for 30 minutes, get off, go to Dunkin' Donuts, power down 6 donuts, and then get back on the treadmill. That would make no sense. I treat my business with that same level of respect. When I sit down, I am focused for 90 minutes. My goal in that 90 minutes is to simply identify 3 people that are open-minded, committed to watching the 2 videos, and have a follow-up appointment with me. My goal is to put 3 people into my database a day. At the end of a week, I'd have 15 people. At the end of a month, I'd have 60. At the end of a year, I'd have 720 people. What we're going to do here, we're going to track how many prospects you have in your database, and we're going to show this via a green bar. Again, you have the ability to edit this. The system is going to make recommendations to you, and of course, what it's also going to show when you log in are your scheduled calls for today, and the calls, the tasks, and event that are going out, you know, the next day, week, month, 2 months, whatever. This is all done in a sequential manner. Okay. All right. Let's go into contacts. So again, here you have boxed. You can communicate with all of your hot leads, all of your leads in general, new, warm, people in your organization, cold leads, you know, you use by simply clicking on hot, for example, right? You could send something out in a group. You could also pull up people alphabetically, files that were last created, somebody who you just most recently put in your system, people that you haven't interacted a whole lot with, and they probably need a call, or people that you have interacted with more frequently or most recently. You put leads into the system or your prospects into the system one of 2 ways. We have really learned our lesson from attraction flow. And again, this is why we created a proprietary product. So what you would simply do is you go here into actions and you would export all of your leads from whatever CRM. If you're using Attraction Flow CRM or any of the other vendors, you'd simply hit export contacts, come in here and import your contacts, and all of your contacts are immediately put into the system. Okay. The other way to add a contact is by simply coming in here. And if you want to add one specific contact, Sean, I'm going to have you role play with me. All right, bud?
You got it.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Sean to the system. I'm going to simply go in here. I'm going to put in Sean for the sake of time. I'm just going to put in his last name as S. Sean, what's your email address, bud?
Sean.strock@exprealty.com.
STURROCK
You got it.
at EXP. All right. Sean, what's your phone number, bud?
214 738 1155.
All right. So I met Sean. Sean and I are having a conversation. I decided to put Sean into the system. I'm simply going to save company. The system is going to acknowledge that you've just added somebody to the system, and I'm going to go right to Sean's contact detail. So if I had met Sean previously and Sean said, you know, Eric, I'm open-minded, shoot me out the videos, I can go right here and send out what we call our 2-video email automation system. All of the scripts, all of the text, all of the emails are already written for you. If you wanted to come in here and schedule an appointment, you could do that. But let's say I want to call Sean, right? Because in order to build, you have to speak to people, whether you get face-to-face with them or on the phone. So you're going to simply hit call, take a look at what happens. We're going to allow them to use my mic. Okay. So the system is going to ask me what type of call I want to make, right? So what is an appointment setter call? That's somebody who, a third party, it could be a VA who's making calls on your behalf. An open-minded call with a set appointment. Your VA made an appointment with somebody, and now you're calling to follow up. An open-minded call, this is just a regular cold call to see if somebody's open-minded. Your rating call is your follow-up call. After they watch the videos, you're going to want to follow up with them and rate their level of interest in joining EXP, with 1 having no interest at all and 10 meaning they're ready to join right away. That is called a rating call, and then a follow-up call. You're going to take note that regardless of which type of call that you're going to make, let's say I hit open-minded, you are going to see scripts made available to you or anybody in your organization, and you get to pick whatever script is your preference, right? You'd simply hit view, and here is an aid. So somebody can communicate at the highest level. They no longer have a fear of picking up the phone because right in front of them, we're showing them the right questions to ask and how to move the relationship forward. So again, you get to pick whatever whatever type of call you're making, and it's going to coincide. And there are three different preferences that you can pick in terms of script. Also, if somebody is a little nervous picking up the phone or wants to get motivated, there's a video right here. Sean, you're going to have to let me know if you can hear this video.
Okay.
Sean, can you hear it?
No.
No?
Yeah, barely. And it's going to be kind of scratchy. No.
Okay. So right here is another aid where they have a video and they can listen to you, or they can listen to the tone of the call. They can listen to the verbiage of the call. And this explains the intent of the call, what you want to get out of the call. All right, Sean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you through the system. And I'm going to illustrate for all of you how AI comes in here, interprets the call. It acts like a VA. It interprets the call and gives you specific actions to take to move the relationship forward. Sean, do me a favor. So you're going to mute on the system, and we're going to have a phone conversation. You're going to do it through your phone. So I'm going to call you on the phone. Okay. So obviously say, yes, I'm open-minded. Give me an objection though. Let's say, Eric, I'm happy where I'm at, or Eric, no, I'm not interested. And I'll handle the objection. You're going to see when I make the call with Sean, I could either have the script right on the screen, or I could have any of the objections Sean may have for me. Okay. Without further ado, Sean, I'm going to give you a call right now. Hey, Sean. Hi, Sean. Is this Sean Stark? Hey, Sean, it's Eric Orland calling. How are you? Good, good, Sean. Thanks for asking. Hey, Sean, the reason for my call today is I was looking at a production report and noticed that you have been successfully selling real estate for an extended period of time. That obviously speaks volumes in light of what type of market we're in today. Sean, I hope you'll take this call as a compliment to your achievements. Sean, would you be open-minded to exploring a brokerage platform that may allow you the opportunity to not only keep more of your hard-earned commissions, but also provide you buyer and seller leads to ramp up your level of production and makes available multiple other streams of income, putting you in the unique position to increase your income earning potential? Is this something you might find compelling, and would you simply be open to exploring together?
We can't hear Sean at all. Eric, maybe he'd come off mute.
Yeah, Sean, when you make your reply, unmute your mic, because we're not hearing it.
I'm calling you through the system. Awesome. You know, Sean, wouldn't you agree most people feel the same way? They wouldn't stay with their employing broker. Based on the fact you're happy, can we assume that you haven't really spent any additional time researching what may be in the market to assist you in taking your business to the next level? Sean, could you be in any better position to simply compare and contrast what you're receiving from your existing brokerage partner versus what EXP might be able to provide to see which one best aligns with the long-term direction you'd like to take your business? You're in a pretty enviable position, aren't you? Would you be open-minded to simply exploring over a 15-minute call? Awesome. I really appreciate your open-mindedness, Sean. Sean, I'm clearly not asking you for any commitment today. The only commitment I will ask is the following. I'm going to take the liberty of sending you out 2 short videos. These videos are going to give you a great overview. EXP is the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate, and how this amazing platform may assist you in growing your real estate business. It will also allow you to formulate any questions that you may have for me when I follow up with you. Sean, would you be able to watch these videos within the next 24 to 48 hours? Yeah, that sounds about right. So that leaves us at Thursday or Friday. What day would be best for us to connect? Thursday or Friday of this week? Afternoon. I have got an opening at 1:30 at 3 p.m. What would work best for you? 3 p.m. on Thursday. Sean, again, I want to thank you for your open-mindedness, and I look forward to us reconnecting Thursday at 3:30. All right, guys, that was unusually hard. I don't know how this,
with all that background.
there was so
I wanted
much
to say this,
background noise. So
for everybody to know when Eric's making those calls, he's got it on speakerphone. And a lot of times I've seen you do it where you're talking to them, and then as soon as they respond, he'll put the phone kind of close to the computer. So you get to hear a lot of the dialogue on what that prospect is saying to Eric and how he's overcome the objections. But I love how you just pulled up the objection. Got like 10 of them in here, which are your most common, and just could flat read them.
So what you're going to see here is you're going to come into the computer and you're going to put a task, right? You're going to add a task, have a follow-up call with Sean. What did we say? I think I even said different
Thursday.
times, 1:30 or 3:30. So you're going to simply come in here. You're going to add a task into the system. So follow-up call with Sean for Thursday afternoon. Okay. So the system AI has already interpreted the phone call, right? And what it's saying is that, congratulations, you just added a prospect to the system. They've agreed to a follow-up call. The contact's open-minded and agree to watch the video. Okay. It's follow-up call with Sean for Thursday afternoon. We're going to put him in on Thursday afternoon. Today is the 21st, so we're going to hit the 24th. I'm not going to worry about the time here, and I'll explain why in a moment. Okay. Your notes, for the sake of time and the environment, the call would have been a lot longer, right? I would have asked Sean what he liked about existing broker firm, what didn't he like. I'd have some type of history, and I put that as notes. All right, what's transpired so far? Let's look at the view analysis. This is going to be interesting. All right, so AI analyze the call. Where are we here? I don't think I picked it up. This has never happened before. Let me show you what it looks like. The sound. Let me show you what this looks like. Not the system. Guys, I apologize. It didn't take. There was too much background noise.
Yeah, you can got to just break down what that AI does for him.
Yep. Let me do that. Let me try one more time, Sean. It's almost a disservice because I want to actually show you how the system works. But what AI does, it gives an analysis of the call. It tells us, it basically gives an overview of the call, talks about the tone of the call, the next steps to take. It immediately prompts you to send out the 2-video email automation and send Sean out a calendar invite. What I'd like to do, Sean, if we can get back on the horn, maybe, I'll be out of town this week. I'm back in Puerto Rico next week. I can even do it next Monday. But I'd love to take the group through this and show them how this works in the best way possible. Let me quickly show you some other things in the system. What are the tools in the system? So everything that we do, we use scripts for. Rating call, open-minded, I talked about this. Here's the 2 different videos that, one is the new 12-minute video that we had produced. It was the talk of EXP. It's the most updated video that's out there. It has revenue share 2.0, objection handling scripts. These are all the objections you're going to hear over and over again. A brokerage cost comparison calculator. This is one of my favorite tools. And what this tool does, it illustrates for somebody. It illustrates how much money they're paying their existing brokerage firm versus how much money they would pay at EXP, and then illustrating the cost savings by simply moving over their license. You'll notice on the right-hand side is EXP. You have nothing to put in here. The entire model populates by itself. You only input in the left-hand side where you see the beige, the beige color right here, and you're going to add in, there's 10 different types of questions. What I love about this model, it allows a couple things to happen. It requires you to ask your prospect questions, which immediately gets them sharing and solidifies a relationship. Secondly, it shows the prospect that you have an interest in understanding a little bit about their business, and then conveys to you, what they're paying their broker so you can articulate why a move is smart. What this is going to indicate is the following. Annual gross commission is $870,000. We know that at EXP, there's a $16,000 cap in place, right? Here, we're going into the assumption that they're paying 35%, zero cap. They're paying their broker $304,500. When you take into account junk fees, and that's our E&O, are $85 a month. If they're an Icon agent, takes into account all of that. It's going to show that they're going to pay their existing broker $352,200. At EXP, they're going to be all in for $20,764. They're an Icon agent. It's going to add the $16,000 back to EXP, showing the following: that by staying at their existing broker, they're going to take home $517,800. At EXP, $862,960, providing them a cost savings of $345,160. Here's a video on the bottom, which shows me going through the model in detail, how to formulate the questions, and take them through the entire process.
May I ask, Eric, if you're talking to a smaller producer, or maybe even someone at 100% brokerage, do you ever, after going through that, do you ever kind of work in the stock and the rev share to show how to offset that 16 or no?
You know, I don't. I try to move them away, Sean. It's a really good question. I try to move them away from how much money they're going to save, and I'm sharing more about the opportunity. My focus isn't on you're going to save this amount of money. My focus is you're going to make 3 to 4 times more money because you get stock, you have revenue share options, and you have 9 or 10 different lead generating mechanisms, ensuring that you're going to sell more real estate. And that, you know, I quantify that by saying last year, the average agent at EXP sold 6.7 homes, which is more significant or larger than any other brokerage, than any other bulge bracket brokerage firm. This is the Attractify flow chart, and this is important. So the whole system is predicated or built out on 10 different steps. And what you're going to see is that we take action, and how somebody responds to an action will dictate the next course of action. So for example, somebody sets an appointment for us. The system will automatically send out a text confirming the appointment prior to you making the open-minded call. Just now, if the system had worked, if AI had heard what was going on, what would happen is that AI would immediately send out or suggest that we sent out the 2-video email automation. And then we knew that our next call was Thursday at 1:30 or 3:30. What would happen is 30 minutes prior to that call, Sean would have received a text again confirming the appointment. If Sean doesn't show up to the appointment, the system automatically sends out a 7-step email automation in an effort to get that person to re-engage. So this is a significant part of the entire process. And then the 5 features and benefits of EXP. I mean, Sean, you've heard me make lots of phone calls. I probably utilize this more than anything. You know, really understanding what are the value adds of EXP, and being able to articulate that in the form of questions without speaking, but really engaging. Our training is, our trainings are broken down. So I went into the studio in Miami, and we shot 13 videos. Our videos are between 1 minute and 3 minutes long. So today you can come in, sorry guys, it's so loud here. So you can come in, buy the system and unravel it and put it to work for you immediately. So within 45 minutes, you know, you have all of the information right at your fingertips, what you're supposed to do and how to properly scale your organization. This is all laid out in 45 minutes. So unlike Attraction Flow, videos would be like an hour long, right? Really well put, really done nicely in terms of professional and quality. Our calendar, we have events each and every day. On Monday, we have 2 events. We have role playing, and then we have the Attractify Q&I. Randy Bird prospects on Tuesday. We have a world tour. My associate Vonda Kozar takes you or your prospects on a full tour of EXP World and talks about our main technologies. And then Tuesday, I do role playing, I do prospecting, where again, I'm putting people below you, but I'm co-sponsoring with you only on those people. Wednesday, we have Jeff Sutherland, who I think does an incredible job. Prospecting, I do an intro to EXP call. Kurt Shewell does an intro to EXP call on Thursday morning. We do another Q&A. I do a role playing again, and then I introduce the model on Thursday. You can come in here if you want to plan for your week. You can add to the calendar, or you could join right away. Our library. These are just a bunch of open-minded calls where you could listen to the tone and the verbiage being used. Our rating call. Additional resources are scripts for brokerage or large teams. Our 2-minute elevator speech. And I think this is really important. When you are speaking to somebody about EXP, you need to be able to articulate your value-added proposition in less than 2 minutes. And I don't care if that is whether you're talking about EXP or why you should be someone's sponsor. Really important to have a 2-minute elevator speech in place. These are all our past drip campaigns, 60 different drip campaigns, and these are our bonus videos. An intro to EXP with me, Sheila Fageron's group, Gogo Bethke's group, so on and so forth. I'm going to go through automations in a second. Our resource center. I remember when one of the more frustrating things to me, other than being in a loud airport, one of the most frustrating things to me is being in the system. And then somebody would ask me a question, Eric, what is an icon agent? How does a mega team work? Co-sponsoring. We spent hours and hours and hours putting in place our own resource center. So if you have a question, somebody says, how does co-sponsoring work? All you have to do is come in here, put co-sponsoring PDF, right there for you. Or, same thing, icon agents. So everything is right here at your fingertips. You never have to leave the system. Everything that you need to know about bringing in, attracting is right here at your fingertips. All right, I talked a little bit about automations. So I mentioned before, a lot of the system is automated, right? Everything is done for you. If you go back into contacts and you go to Sean, and let's say Sean, on my next call, rating call, Sean watches the videos, and I say to Sean, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 having absolutely no desire whatsoever to be a part of EXP, and 10, you understand clearly the power of this platform, and you're ready to put it to work for you now and join EXP. Where do you stand? Sean says to me, Eric, I'm at a 7. Well, the logical question would be, what would it take to move that needle? Sean says to me, you know what? I really like what I've seen so far, Eric, but I want to have a better understanding of how your technologies work. I'm pretty tech savvy, and having a good technology stack is important to me. So you'd simply come in here. Let's go out. It would go out automatically, but since AI is not working with the background, let's go here. I'm going to start an automation, and you can see, boom, right in the log, it's going to show. Not allowing me to do it. I'm going to try to reset this. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, and if you truly are free, Eric, I know your schedule's big and you're busy all the time. But next Monday, if you're open, I'd love for people that are not a part of the system literally to hear you make calls so they can realize, wow, I can sit and listen every week.
I want to say this, we're 6 months late on the product. And I think what we lost in terms of time, we've made up for more in terms of quality. I have lived in the system. I absolutely love it. And I'm confident in saying I think you will too. It's an amazing, amazing platform. But I never envisioned the airport being this loud and then not having a business center here. Let me see.
Eric, are you able to show it just from somebody else that you did the other day and it worked?
Yeah. Somebody else.
I always do it, Kelly. That's a great question. I usually do it with somebody in the team, then I erase it right afterward because I want my system not to be convoluted. So I take everybody out of the system. I'm trying to think who I called the other day. It's actually a really good idea. Let's go. Okay. Kelly, you are a genius.
I'll give Kathy credit. She put it in the text.
Let's say.
View details. I didn't make, I did it on the prospecting call, so I put her in the system afterward. It doesn't, Kel. No. No, it's not coming up for me. What I'd love to do is I'd love to get back on the horn with you guys and really give you a full presentation, which I can do in under a half an hour. But in this setting, it's really hard to take it through the system and illustrate it in the way that it's supposed to work.
So does next Monday at the same time work for you?
Yeah, let me look here. I am going from Oklahoma City to Reno, and I want to make sure.
That you won't be in an airport again?
Without a doubt, Kelly. Without a doubt. So that's the 28th. So
And
I
I'll say
leave,
this,
I leave Reno at 11:45. So I could do like a 9 a.m., which would be, Sean, you are central, you're 2 hours.
I'm Mountain Time.
11.
It's 9 a.m. Mountain Time when we do it. 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern's when we
So
start.
Reno's Pacific.
Uh-huh.
So
And what
you're
time is
2
it there?
hours. So if I did it 9 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock, exact same time. 11 o'clock next Monday.
Yeah. And you're good? You're open?
Yeah, what I can do is I'll do it from my son's apartment, and then I'll run out right afterwards and catch a flight.
Okay. Yeah, if you're cool with that, that'd be awesome. Because I'd love for
Yeah,
not
guys, I
only
really apologize. I was so excited to get on here, and you know, this has been very trying. And those of you who know me know I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so it's been challenging. And I want to make sure that you get a really good feel for the system. I'm
Well,
really
like you
proud.
started with, Eric, it's all about mindset. So
It is.
we'll overcome.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to laugh.
That's right.
It really is. I'm not going to hype the system. You'll be able to tell for yourself.
Yeah. Perfect.
In the meantime, what I will invite you to do is jump on a prospecting call with me and watch the flow of the call. Watch how many leads come up over the course of 2 hours. Sean is on the calls consistently now. So we'd love to have you participate in that and see for yourself. You know, come in here, take a look at the system, and if it resonates for you and you feel like you'd like to have it as an aid in building your organization, I'd love the opportunity to work with you.
So Eric, if they don't have this system, is there like a trial for 1 week or something? How can
Yeah,
they?
I mean, come on to a call. I do the next Tuesday. Let's go next Tuesday or next Thursday. Tuesday, I prospect from 3 to 5 Eastern. From 3 to 5 Eastern. So from 2 to 4 Central Time. Sean, I know you're here in Houston. So
But
Tuesday,
anybody
3.
in our group can listen in even though they don't have a Tractify?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Come on, come in there. We'll have you as a guest.
Okay.
But how you enter the group is live.attractify.ai. Let me put it in the chat for you.
Live.attractify.ai.
.ai.
And Eric, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about why you do this, because this is a lot of work and you built a great team and you are a master at the calls. Talk about why you do it.
You know, it was done intentionally for the people below me to be able to grow their organization. I've always believed that in order to have, if you want a successful business, you want to make sure it's duplicatable, that the people below you could function or can execute at the highest level. So it was really, Kelly, to create a blueprint, a map, so they could scale their businesses, knowing that the more successful they were, the more successful I would be. I also realized very quickly on that most people were afraid to pick up the phone and engage people. Nobody likes feeling shamed, embarrassed, or rejected. And I think that, you know, you can't make a value-added call unless you are comfortable and confident. And if you're not comfortable and confident, the person on the other side of the phone is not comfortable and confident. So that is the reason that I initially put Attraction Flow together. And then quite honestly, I never anticipated Attractify being what it is. I think as we continue to peel back the onion and, AI is becoming more and more prevalent. And Sean will tell you, I mean, those people that know me know, I mean, I am not very well versed in technology. I'm someone who just recently learned how to copy and paste. I'm being somewhat facetious about that, but I think that this system allows for anybody in your organization to be able to pick up the phone with a high level of confidence, knowing that they've got the right tool systems and aids in place so they don't feel shamed, embarrassed, or intimidated. And now I love the system. And I believe that, I think that having the system not only will allow me to continue to grow my organization the way that I want it to, but I think that the agents at EXP having access to the system, I think, puts EXP in a position to get back on the growth path that we once had. And if we're being really transparent, we have not had the same growth that some of our competitors. We lost market share where our competitors gained market share. And I think EXP by far and away is the best company. If you look at our market share, you look at we're publicly traded, the only profitable company, you look at our leadership, you look at our technology stack, you look at the revenue share payout, we don't have competition. The reason that we stalled is that the message sometimes is not being conveyed properly. And I think that Attractify goes a long way in helping to solidify the fact that people are articulating in a way that's going to resonate with their prospects.
And share with them how the AI is built in to help with also follow-ups, automation, all that kind of stuff.
So you guys got to see one thing on the call. What it did, it detected that Sean said that he's open-minded. It detected that he said he'd watch the videos. And it detected that he'd have a follow-up phone call with me. So immediately what would happen is they'd give an overview of the phone call, they talk about the tone of the call, and it would immediately say to you, click on this button to send out the 2-video email automation. And then it would give you a choice of scripts to use. Script that I wrote in the system or an AI script. So loud here. Crazy. Or it's a, can you guys hear this in the background?
Can't really even hear it. No, that's what's crazy.
Oh,
Your
it
noise
is.
canceller works well a
Exactly.
lot.
I'm glad to listen.
Incredible.
Kathy, I'm glad something's working today. What would happen is AI would say to you immediately before you do anything else, send out the video email automation. Then what it would say to you is that you have an appointment scheduled with Sean for Thursday at 1:30. And what happened is it would send out a calendar invite. It would send out a calendar invite. So that next appointment would not just be in my calendar, Kathy, it would also be in Sean's calendar. And it would tell you the next steps. What else would happen is 30 minutes prior to my 1:30 call with Sean, the system would send out a text template, letting Sean know that we have an appointment scheduled in 30 minutes, just a friendly reminder. And what I like about that is, the 12, 13-minute video is only 12 or 13 minutes long. When you send out a text to somebody 30 minutes prior to the appointment, in the event they have not listened to the video or watched the video, very often they'll go ahead and do that and be on the call with you.
Now, Eric, you're all about helping not only your agents, but agents across EXP.
I am, and I'll be as transparent as I always am. I don't anticipate selling this product to our competition. I think there's something kind of very eerie about, looking you all in the eye and saying, hey, we'll help you grow together. And then giving this type of tools to LPT, Real, or Epic. It's just not our style. So it's not something I will do. I will tell you that I had a couple of interesting calls on the past week. Everybody at management that's looked into the system has been, oh, wow. It's been a wow factor. It's been, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some type of, want to be careful how I phrase this. I know Felix Brava said, hey, I want my people in international to have this. He said it's unlike anything. I believe it's the best system at EXP here.
Exactly.
And, I know he spoke to Glenn and Leo about it the other day. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we have on this particular call, we have some newer agents that are just leaning into agent attraction. We have some agents that are exploring EXP. What
Mhm.
has this model done for you? Because you've created some great success with it.
Yeah, it took me 2 to 3 years to get in to join EXP. Today, a very dear friend of mine, he wasn't at the time, talked to me about EXP, Kevin Cottrell, and he started his pitch, and I said, "Let me help you out." And I tend to speak, and very directly. I said, "Let me help you out. Never in this lifetime will I ever join EXP." This was 3 years prior. I was riding a wave of success. I had been a nationally recognized real estate coach. I had a really good business. I never anticipated what happened would happen. At 58 years old, I made some bad investments and made some bad business decisions and wound up losing really everything. I mean, absolutely everything. Something I did not expect. I come from a family of overachievers. My younger brother is a vascular surgeon. My sister's a Yale doctor, married to a Yale doctor. Here I was at 58, poor and destitute. It was the exact same time that my child, my one and only, the love of my life, got into Syracuse University, which is a private school in upstate New York. It's about $80,000 a year. And I remember having to look at him, Kelly, with tears rolling down my face, saying, "Jackson, I love you more than life itself, but I can't afford to pay for your college education." Quite frankly, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And I came back and listened to this first cloud-based model with revenue share, yada, 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 that I thought was really crazy. I spent 3 years trying to blow holes into why I felt this model would not work. And what I quickly came to realize when I took the time to really analyze it is there were no holes that needed to be plugged. The model is what the model is. The model provides agents tool, system, support, and technology so we could be the very best professional versions of ourselves. The model provides agents multiple streams of income. I think we could all agree multiple streams of income as real estate professionals put us in a better income earning place than having only one form of income. It was a model that I believed that I never had to blow smoke. What I simply asked from people is to take the time to compare and contrast what they were receiving from their existing brokerage partner versus what EXP could provide. And I believed in my heart of hearts then, as I believe today, that unless somebody is wearing blinders or has their hands over their ears, they'd have to attest that this model typically aligns with the direction most of us want to take their business, right? Why? At EXP, we have first mover advantage. We are the first cloud-based brokerage firm that's out there. We have dominant market share today, now in over 30 countries. Bunch of announcements are coming within the next week. And now in over 30 countries, our competitors, 2 at the very most, right? You are surrounded by the best agents in the world. At EXP, in more than 50% of the states, EXP has the number one or number two top producing agents. You're surrounded by the best of the best, pushing you to be the best professional version of yourself. At EXP, you have 11 or 12 different lead generating sources, putting you in a position to sell more real estate. You have equity or ownership in the brokerage firm that you're affiliated with, not only providing you an extra income stream, but gives you a level of financial security that never existed. And lastly, revenue share. The company allows agents the ability to get paid like a broker without having any of the responsibilities of being a broker. No liability, no management responsibilities, and no capital outlay. At EXP, the company last year, let this marinate for a second. Last year, the company gave back to their agents, gave back to we, the agents who helped grow and build the company by simply introducing EXP to other agents. The company gave back $200 million, allowing us to build generational wealth and take care of our families in a way that realtors never, ever dreamed possible before this company ever existed. EXP has changed the game in the same way that not one of us are going out to Blockbuster Video tonight to rent our favorite video and pick our favorite candy. The bulge bracket firms that are brick and mortar like KW, Caldwell Banker, Century 21, Berkshire Hathaway, these are the companies of yesteryear. They are dragons. They are not the future. EXP is the leader in the cloud-based space, and this is exactly the direction that society is heading. So I know it was a little long-winded, Kelly, but I hope I answered your
What has
question.
it done for you personally, Eric?
9. What has it done for me personally? It's done a couple of things for me. I'm not focused on money. Yes, I make a ton of money today. I make a ton of money today, and it has allowed me to have a level of financial security and freedom that I'd be lying to say didn't provide comfort. But it allowed me to build an organization with a product and service that I love with every core of my being, that it is so different, it is so unique from any other platform that's out there. And I get to work hand in hand with people that I genuinely like and respect. What I love about this model is that we are the sum of all parts that have come together and are pulling in the exact same direction. What do I mean? Any of you, the more successful you are, the more successful I am. As you're out there talking about EXP and branding, you're making my job that much easier. In my almost 3,000 person organization, anytime somebody in my organization brings somebody into their organization, my organization is growing simultaneously. So what I love about this is that because I benefit when somebody else benefits, I'm willing to take the time, put forth the resources and time, effort, and resources. I'm willing to put all of that into another agent, because the more successful they are, the more successful I am, right? We are thinking the exact same way. If you think about a traditional real estate company, a poor buyer walks into an office and two agents are fielding what do you call it? Floor time. A floor time. It's a matter of who tackles that person next, right? It's completely against that relationship is set up to be conflictual. And EXP, it's not. Again, with the sum of all parts that have come together and pulling in the same direction, because we have a common goal, we have a common interest. And yes, Sandra, I did. I sent my kid to college. Not the first year, I couldn't afford, but was very fortunate. I had over 1,000 agents my first year at EXP, 1,000 agents in my downline first year at EXP. So it was really heartfelt being able to look myself in the mirror and think, what an amazing ride. What an amazing ride with an amazing company. And, you will never hear me say, anything other than the fact that we have the best leadership. We have the best revenue share payout. I have the best colleagues in the industry. We are so far ahead of any other company. Simply look at our technology stack. I mean, look what we're offering people. Think about what happened over the past couple of weeks with EXP, first company ever to say, you know what, we're not going to pick your CRM. We're going to give you 3 choices and you identify the product that best works for you. Is that not agent centric? Or simply look at a piece of marketing, KW, Remax, Berkshire Hathaway. It's always their signage. It's always their logo and slogan. And at the very bottom, it's a picture of the realtor. At EXP, it's exactly the opposite. You are being branded so you could be the best professional version of yourself.
Yeah, the other part that I really like that I hear a lot of people talk about, especially the leaders, is the ability, like when I think of the first told me that, I don't know if it was Kinder or somebody that when, back before EXP existed, when they'd be at the big networking functions and they'd get to know the other big players, every once in a while, they'd all get to dinner or something. Can you imagine if one day we could all work together? This is back 10 years ago. So when the big boys started to come on, they're like, oh my gosh, we can now all work together. And I know we're in over half the markets, half the states in the US. EXP has the number 1 or number 2 agent. I think that in itself speaks for itself, right? That
Definitively, Sean. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Well, I know we're at the top of the hour, and for everybody here, so Eric, if you can come on next Monday, that's incredible.
I will. I won't be in Reno. I'll make sure that I am in a place. I will figure out that I will make sure that I'm in a quiet, safe place so all of you can see how the product works and see if you see there's value there and want to participate.
And if you're open after that, if you're totally open to make a few phone calls, that'd be great for everybody to see how you do it. Then if they want to jump on to some of those other calls, they can.
So yeah, real quickly before we jump. So next Tuesday, I want to invite you. So next Tuesday I'm going to talk in East Coast times from 3 to 5 on Tuesday and Thursday, 2 to 4, not this week, next week. So Tuesday, 3 to 5, Thursday, 2 to 4, live.attractify.ai. Live.attractify.ai. Only thing I cannot make the calls for you if you're not subscribers, obviously, that would be unfair to the people that are on. But you could watch me. It's a round robin that goes on for 2 hours. And it's just one after the other, where we're, identifying people. And, people are fired up watching this and being a part of it.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, it's incredible. Man, thank you so much for
Dude, you're incredible. You're a great guy, Sean. I love our relationship. I appreciate you,
man.
buddy.
I'm trying to imagine. I don't think I would have handled this call if it was me, knowing that I'm in an airport like that. I couldn't have even done it, dude. So thank you for pushing through all that. Well,
More
when
than
you
welcome.
take off, were you delayed or when do you take off?
I am taking off. You know, I heard there's a famous delicatessen here in Houston. It's called something at Izzy's. Something. Oh, it's a delicatessen.
Is it there in the airport? They got one in the airport?
No, it's in Houston. It's in Houston proper, and it's the
Okay.
best delicatessen in the country. So my brother said, "How long is your layover in Houston?" I said, "It's 3.5 hours." And he said, "Oh, you've got to go to this place. Something in Izzy's." Guys, anybody from Houston on the call? Oh, what's the first name?
Izzy's popular. Huh.
I forget.
Is he coming to pick you up or something and take you there?
Kenny and Iggy's. Kenny and Iggy's.
Never heard of it. Kenny and
Best pastrami, best corned beef sandwiches they say in the country.
Is he coming to get you or are you going to go grab
No,
lunch?
no, I'm not gonna make it. I want to do this call with you. I was
Oh,
so
I-
excited to be on the call with all of you guys today, but as life would have it.
All good, man. Well, dude, thank you. Safe travels, brother. Have a finish off a great week. We'll connect with you next Monday. All
Sounds
right.
good, buddy.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Eric.
Appreciate it, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a blessed day, gang. Thanks.
Thanks.